Hey everyone, I'm Yama. This is my friendly neighborhood, like X said, but I have two people with me here, so if you guys want to also go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name is Zarian. I am a horror game speedrunner, and I dabble in other things as well.
Hi, my name's John, also known as Ducky. I am really not a speedrunner, but I did make the game that is being run right now. I think that's why I'm here.
Yes, that would be the biggest reason.
Well, it's not for the silky voice or the charm.
So, just a few things to point out for this game. It does have a built-in speedrun mode. That's why you see this timer here in the top right. And, yeah. So, the category I'm running is No Major Glitches, which basically just means, like, no out of bounds and, nothing major. So, we'll go ahead and get this started. The timer will start once we select the difficulty. So, I'll count it down before I select normal.
So, Yama, I'm kind of curious. Is there any sort of major differences between the difficulties here?
So unfriendly definitely changes the item layouts and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think you die in 2 hits instead of normally like 3 or 4. I'm not sure so much for the other ones, but yeah. We'll go ahead and count down with 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay.
So now we're
job of the day.
in the game.
What's this one about?
This initial paper we pick up is basically just telling us what we're doing. I'm not great at describing story stuff, but our name is Gordon. We're kind of like a repairman sent here to
Always the worst.
shut down this studio because the channel is playing over news channels and other stuff like that. For anyone that has played the game casually, you might notice this is not usually how you start the game. There's a hidden button in the garage you saw me press, and basically opens up an alternate path where you skip going to the lobby and taking the key card and just anything else there. And we get to go straight to the blue key room down this hall.
And just to point out, we actually, for quite a while, we actually didn't know that button existed.
Yeah.
So the game got quite a reroute once we found it.
That's amazing.
So you're gonna see me do this first. It's not really a trick, but a strat that one of our members of the community found, Demented Salad. Well, he didn't really find it, but he remembered it from his casual playthrough and told everyone about it, basically. So if you hit an enemy with the wrench when they're not paying attention to you, you instantly stagger them. Where once they notice you, they kind of have a RNG stagger amount for HP as well. So that actually saves a ton of time in this run after that was found.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, the funny thing about that was actually implemented fairly last moment, within the last like month or 2 of development, and the other mechanics for the wrench had been in for quite a while at that point, because I was watching some people play at PAX and I saw somebody do that and they didn't even realize that it hadn't happened, but I was thinking, goodness gracious, I am pretty sure that they thoroughly expected that if they hit a puppet without them noticing, it would do something extra. I think I need to put that in like immediately. Kind of glad to hear that it's something that's useful in the speedrunning sense. I always try to keep that in mind as much as possible.
One thing I also wanted to mention is you saw me go up the stairs and kind of like not take the intended path to get the orange key, where I was kind of like walking on a ledge, and that's not considered a major glitch. You're not really skipping anything other than going up an extra set of stairs and flipping a lever to open the gate there. But it does save some time. Okay, Norman might grab me here. Okay, fortunately he didn't.
Nice.
And I just wanted to point out how actually important the wrench is to the crowd.
Yeah.
After we found that out. So enemies in this game, they have randomized health, and I'll just put that simply, it's randomized health. So With the shotgun, that's not too much to worry, but if he had to shotgun every enemy, he would run into ammo issues, and we need about 9 shots at the end for the final boss. So being able to utilize the wrench when they are not paying attention so you can save those shots is actually very important for the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, on that note, one of the reasons that I put the wrench in the first place was after watching speedruns of the demo specifically, I noticed that randomization reset a lot of runs early on, that health randomization. And for a demo, you know, it was like an hour-long demo casually, so, you know, for a 10-minute, 7-minute speedrun, that doesn't matter. But I was thinking for the full game, that's going to be awful, right? And so one of the reasons I wanted to put the wrench in the first place was to kind of level the playing field for all that health randomization a little bit, so you don't have to be quite as stingy with the ammo and everything like that.
I've actually had to use a lot more shotgun ammo here than normal, so I am going to have to pick up some extra. That's Norman. That's where you would actually encounter your first puppet pretty much casually. You see him slamming into the door, and you would go over there and, well, assuming you don't recognize him as an enemy, he's probably going to grab you.
Yeah, if you don't take the alternate path that we did, if you miss the button like all of us did a lot, you would go into that room and actually get your first weapon, which would be a pistol. I can't remember the exact name of it in the game, but that would be your first weapon.
All right.
Yeah, that got totally skipped, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, so as far as this run goes, the only weapons we will be using are the shotgun, the wrench, and you will see a weapon called the punctuation later on, which is basically a grenade.
And he, when he dropped her right there, he taped her up, which is by using item duct tape. The reason he's doing that is because we actually have to come back this way. So by utilizing that duct tape, we save shoddy shots later on. It's just a good way to preserve ammo more.
Yeah, so if anyone's familiar with like Resident Evil 1, where you have the little, I forget, the flask, and you burn the zombies in order to make them not spawn back as Crimson Heads later, it's pretty similar, except they don't really evolve. You would just have to waste more ammo.
Also, as a really quick just note for people in chat, definitely play the game casually if you want to see like the full effect of some of the charm. Like we skipped one of the guns that we're talking about, and I can't stress this enough. It's literally like a pistol with 26 bullets, and every letter is the alphabet. But
yeah, this game is extremely charming. Extremely charming.
Thanks.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
And then like the letters that it fires, like it just fires the letters.
So this right here is actually kind of tricky. You have, yeah, I was gonna get grabbed if I missed the candy. You have almost no time to grab that candy bar. You have to take it almost immediately to avoid a grab, but it's okay. I am picking up some safety heals just in case. Getting hit once doesn't really affect that much, fortunately.
It's fascinating to see how the micro pathing and stuff in the rooms is so different in the full game than it was from the demo. I did run the demo myself for a couple weeks, and I mean, your pathing is obviously just going to be better than mine was in general. But even in small ways, I'm noticing like there's different movements that are happening just because of small changes that we had to make for visuals and stuff. It's really interesting to me to see that.
Yeah, which, thanks to the demo, is what actually made me, like, I was looking forward to this game for so long. So you'll notice the candy bar I picked up. What candy bars do, if you can't tell already, is they basically double your speed, or maybe even more. I don't know the exact speed increase. Don might have some insight on that, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's very numbers based, but it's a linear speed increase. I think it's about, if you eat like 3 of them, I think it would be approximately double, if I remember correctly, or 2 would be approximately double. It's right in that range.
But the reason we save it instead of just eating it right away is they only last 3 room transitions. So it lasts the room you're in and then 3 rooms after. And so we eat the candy bar in pretty specific places where we have like a lot of, like big rooms to go through. That way it speeds up, you know, save more time for going through the bigger rooms faster.
Yeah, we were just talking beforehand. I want there to be like at least some plausibility to stacking the candy bars as part of the run. But right now, getting the candy bars actually takes more time than the utility of stacking them. So one thing I might investigate is doing some very, very light changes to kind of expedite getting the candy bars, just to make it like a possibility. It doesn't need to become like a dominant strat or anything, but I like having the ability to play around with things like that, you know?
Right.
And
Whoops. I am walking.
and just to point out, we do get candy bars naturally throughout the run because they do spawn in static places. What he is more referring to is that there is a candy bar machine inside the lobby of the hotel. You all did not see us go in the hotel because he skips that now with clicking the secret button. There is a candy bar machine that costs 1 coin, which you can find naturally throughout the run. You can get about 6 candy bars in the beginning of the game, but time investment is not worth actually getting them at the moment.
Right, and what you're seeing me do now is I'm basically going back around all the places of the map now that I got the key from the maintenance hall, and basically we have to go pick up fuses from these lock boxes in order to open the big vault-looking door. I'm not really sure exactly what it's called, but you will see...
Big vault-looking door.
Yeah.
Sounds great to me.
I
Yeah.
thought so too. We're gonna get a pretty common key item in a lot of horror games that most of you will probably recognize immediately. We are getting the last fuse here. Then we have to put them in a specific order. Normally you'd have to read the notes that come with the fuses to figure out the order, but you know, since we've done it plenty of times, we know it immediately.
The order for placing the fuses has also changed because of a breaker box placement change. I was waiting to see if it was going to be the same as the demo. It's not. That's really funny.
Yeah, so if you guys missed the key item, which hopefully you didn't, it is the notorious bolt cutters that you will see in so many horror games. I don't really know what did it first, but of course Resident Evil always comes to mind. For me, anyways.
Yeah, I mean, almost certainly it was Resident Evil, right? I don't know the answer to that question either, but it's gotta be.
So we had to use that to cut one door, and then this is the other door. So we're now about to transition to the next section of the game, which is the office building.
This must be the elevator Ricky was talking.
After we take this elevator. And
Good run so far, Yama. It's going really well.
yeah, this is pretty good. Aside from not taking the candy bar fast enough, that's the only hit so far.
Yeah.
Don't jinx him for the board game.
So
Oh, I'll
we
jinx
say
it
it's
all I
going well
want.
after the board game.
this
You
is,
know, I'm sitting here on my dev copy, typing away little values to mess them up as late as possible, right?
God.
So this is, well, okay. I got hit by the pig. Actually, I can take an emergency heal in the save room as well with a coin. I'll go ahead and do that after I sort my inventory. So we have to get rid of a bunch of stuff here. All these key items, we don't really need them anymore. We have to pick up this mask, and I will take this coin and just heal, just to save my healing items in case the board game is not kind. The board game is pretty much the biggest reset point in runs. It is completely RNG. You can get a bad hand, you can get a good hand, and Norman can get a better hand. Like,
You can just lose.
Yeah.
There's actually some parts where you, no matter how good you play, the hand you were dealt and the hand he was dealt, you can just lose.
and
I can confirm, by the way, that Norman does have the ability to cheat. Just so you know.
Yes, we know. He's a cheater.
I'll elaborate on the board game a little bit more once we get there. But for now, what we're doing is we need to pick up all these mask key items. And what I'm waiting here just a little bit to hopefully spare myself a shotgun shell. If you wait long enough, Norman and the taxi guy at the top will cross and start going down the stairs. If you go too early, Norman will turn around and you'll have to waste a shotgun shell on him there. I'm also gonna take is the heal here. I think. Let me make sure. I'm just taking these just in case the board game goes awful. Normally you would not pick up these items, but I don't want to take any chances with Norman because sometimes he is very unfriendly.
Yeah, and just to point out the lethality of board game. If he dies there, he has to restart from the beginning of the elevator. It would restart this whole section.
Yep, meaning I have to go get all the mask again, pick up all the same items like you're seeing me do right now. And yeah, it's just, you don't want to do that. So there's another slight, I guess you could call it a glitch here that we allow for this category where we can grab the mask like that. I wanted to get this too, but it's not being kind. I saw it for a second. You can actually grab this chest piece without opening the door as well. It seems to be a little more precise.
You know what's really frustrating about this, Yama? I was aware of this bug before release, and I was like, oh, you know, I should probably patch that for like casual playthroughs and everything. I could not reproduce it. So I was like, it's got to be some sort of like weird fringe error or something. No, I just, you know, never was able to do it, of course.
Yeah, I'm not even sure who found that one, but here's the notorious board game.
Maybe I'll give it a shot.
This hand kind of looks okay. I might misplay it, I'm not gonna lie. I'll try my best.
Ooh, that's rough.
But basically, if you land on a Norman tile, you draw a card. You land on the purple tile, you can only play a 1. You land on a yellow tile, you have to play a card from the deck. And yeah, so
oh, nice.
This is looking like, so if I play a 3, I'll land on the green tile, which will instantly make me take damage and I have to replay the game.
Yeah,
so we're gonna have
you're
to
in for the RNG.
RNG with Junebug and hope she doesn't play a 1. We got a 1.
No!
So
of course, it's always a 1.
basically, if this were a real run, that would pretty much be an immediate reset because you lose way too much time having to play the board game over.
Just to be the irritating dev for a second, I will say that I did place that Junebug and Goblet face right at the end there specifically to try to force having a moment of RNG at the end, because I did not necessarily want a casual player to be able to just like one and done the board game.
Yeah, this one isn't looking so good either.
No, not at all.
Well, this is why I did pick up some safety heals. Norman won that one. So now you can see, I'm gonna go ahead and take one of my heals. I can go get another one from the previous room should I need it. I was hoping we wouldn't get such bad RNG. These hands are not being kind.
Ouch. Yeah, this
these
is
hands
really
are being
rough.
really bad.
So one other thing that I don't know if it was intentional, maybe you can tell us. Yeah, I cheated. Whoops. You actually cannot quit out of the board game at all.
Oh man, your hands
Yeah,
are...
I'm getting like
This is
terrible
abnormally
hands.
bad. Yeah.
Yeah, this is not normal.
This is not normal at all. It is intentional to not be able to quit out of the board game because I want to have people feel the consequences of their bad decisions in how they play their cards.
I thought so.
Yeah, and there is also a bit of like not a technical challenge, but there's like extra concern and bugs that can come from just like exiting out of this integrated system.
Well, Norman won.
Oh no.
This is not going great.
Man.
There's so many
This is
slots.
going very bad.
Well, I have more heals, so we can try this quite a few more times, especially if I go back in the other room to get more
Yeah, this
heals.
is not bad.
That's much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were telling me in the green room before beginning that the board game can go bad, and I did not realize the board game can go bad. And
It can go very bad.
I
yes.
didn't even know you could slap you.
Yeah. It's pretty normal. You ever play Candyland and, you know, your friends don't slap you?
I don't normally get slapped for playing
Oh
Candyland.
no.
I think you're forced.
I kind of
you
want
could
to draw. Okay, it didn't help.
Oh, it wasn't worth it.
All right.
It wasn't worth it.
Well, we're going with RNG Junebug again. I guess.
Please. This is not.
Okay.
This is insane.
Norman is very unfriendly for this run.
Hey, here's something that might help for future runs. The cards are constant. Like, it's not like random cards that are being drawn from the deck. There is like a set amount of each one of them that gets shuffled in. And so if you see a lot of ones appearing early on, the chance of top decking one on the June bug is quite a bit smaller.
I see. I was not aware of anything like that. Okay, well, we have 3 ones again.
Hey, coming into play, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is looking great.
Okay, do June bug. I don't think there's any ones left. Seriously. Unless it reshuffles the deck.
Okay. We made it.
Great work.
Can't believe you have to count cards.
Yeah, so you guys could definitely see why Norman is... I do not like Norman. Norman and I do not get along a lot.
I feel a little bad, but honestly, at the same time, you're the one that decided to run the game. This is your fault.
Honestly,
I think
it's-
casually it is nice.
Yeah, for sure, casually. It's honestly only a pain for the run. It is not even... It was not even a problem like that casually. So, it's probably honestly funnier that we were able to show it off how bad it can go.
That was pretty hilarious.
That was probably one of the worst RNG I've ever had with the board game. So now you're seeing, well, I messed up my inputs, but you're seeing where we put the mask. You're supposed to read the puzzle and, know which character to put the mask on, but we already know. And so now we're getting dice, and we have to make our way back to that same room where we just had our encounter with Norman.
Oh, nice to skip the stair collider.
Yep. Slight little, I don't really know what to call those, like ledge walk or something, but take the shotgun shells in here.
Is fast stairs still possible in the full game? I haven't checked.
It is, and because of like Resident Evil, I think we kind of just dubbed it like stair skating.
Stair skating, yeah.
I'm not 100% certain. It seems like it's faster, but with some timing, some people, including Zarian, have said that maybe it's not.
Interesting.
I need to clear some room.
Yeah. So the thing he's referring to, stair skating, is if you look slightly to the right and you hold AWA, you start going down the stairs slow, but then it seems like it looks faster because you do speed up down the stairs. But I think what it is, and I could be wrong on this, but I think what it is the animation is catching up with itself, and that's why it seems faster, but there is a slight delay before it even starts happening that makes it about the same time, at least from my timings.
So, I haven't looked into it. This is just off the top of my head. What I would imagine is happening is it is legitimately faster in the points in which your character is not in the I hit the ground part of the animation, but once they quote unquote hit the ground again, that's when Gordon makes a sort of noise.
Yeah.
It calls a little thing to like slow hit down his maximum speed for a very brief amount of time, and because that's happening continuously, it might actually end up evening out to being about the same.
Yeah.
See, I don't know that much about the technicality of it. I just see things that go fast and I use it. That's basically.
Yama's the executor.
I'm just taking that heal there since I am in caution, just in case. I'm going to go ahead and use it. I should be pretty safe for the rest of the run. Like I said, the board game is the biggest problem because every time you fail the game, he slaps you, and I did not take the key, I don't think, or did I? I don't remember.
I think you got it.
The point in the game he's at right now, he just actually went up to the office and grabbed the key.
Okay.
To exit the area. So
Right.
this is the end of the area. He's just got a little boss to fight
Yeah,
now.
you're going to see our first boss of the game. Goodbye, boss.
So yeah, the mines in this game are extremely strong.
Come on, man. That took me like weeks to make.
Yeah. So casually, that is actually supposed to be a somewhat stressful boss fight because it really does normally take a lot of
stressful,
resources.
casually,
It takes a ton
yes.
of your ammo because basically you're trying to like shoot each eye with your pistol or your shotgun, and meanwhile the enemy is actually spitting out puppets at you, like it's just spitting out duplicates of Norman at you, along with sometimes spawning the smaller minion puppets. And
yeah, normally
yeah, so, but if you wait just long enough after the yell that the boss does, throwing 2 grenades will pretty much instantly kill it. If you throw the grenade just a little too early, for some reason, some of the damage doesn't take to it, and you'll have to use like 1 shotgun shell to finish it off.
So you want to kind of explain what you're doing at this part now?
Yeah. So you guys didn't see in the very beginning, but if you went in the hotel lobby, or not the hotel, the office lobby in the very beginning, like you're intended to, there's an elevator there. Okay, well, Gordon tries to use the elevator, but there's somebody's Grimace shake spilled all over the door, and you can't use the elevator. So we're basically trying to get these ingredients to make a solvent to clear that off the door so we can use that elevator.
You know, you spend 2.5 years of your life working on a game, you put all these things in place, and then you just happen to release it right around the time that the Grimace Shake is a popular meme, and guess what happens?
I'm messing this up. This actually, oh, I had it. I didn't. This only saves time if you do it on the first try. I'm really goofing it. I just wanted to show this. You can basically do some little collision there, walking on ledges to just skip right over the fridge. Instead of having to go around, with as long as that took me, it would have cost time, but I just felt like showing it off.
Yeah, there's not too many non-major glitches in the run that we can really show off, so it's nice to see what we do have.
That's our first ingredient. I forgot exactly what the ingredients are. I could check the note just to see, but maybe...
Well, that is trumpet polish.
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
It is trumpet polish, film development, and weed killer. Film developer. My mistake. Film developer.
Do not mix these at home trying to make a solvent.
Yes, please.
Assuming you have these in the first place.
I want to note really quick that category-wise, there is obviously a standard any percent, but for the show here, I wanted no major glitches because I know just watching some of these runs, any percent has a trick that's not very fun, and it's also just you don't get to see as much of the game.
Right.
Very true. Yeah, you do skip quite a lot in any percent.
So any percent, you basically skip the first, like. I mean, you basically skip to this exact mission that I'm doing right now. You basically skip the entire first 2 sections of the game, and you go straight into making this solvent for the elevator door, pretty much.
Yeah, that is a very unfortunate thing. At some point, I'm going to have a discussion with the community about whether that needs to be changed for the health of any percent, because I do think it kind of I don't know. It makes any percent just a much less interesting category to watch. I don't know. Anyway, that's something that we should talk about at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, well, just to point out now that you mentioned that, any percent before we actually found the out of bounds to those things, any percent was pretty much no major glitches. Everything he's doing here was pretty much the any percent route already. So yeah, just to point that out.
Yeah, honestly, that might be a good enough reason to not change it, just to keep the categories distinct.
Okay, the dog might grab me. Yeah, that's okay though.
Oh.
So you can
Dogs
actually
can be quick.
walk around the ledge of the playhouse and avoid it entirely, which is what I was trying to do, but I messed it up at first, and it kind of just makes it a little harder to get it the second time. Doesn't really save time, it just makes it completely safe that you won't get touched by the dog. So
you guys probably know this. There's a really gnarly out of bounds that you can do off of that same sort of glitch off of the playground there.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's used in any percent.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yep. So, as a matter of fact, you actually have to do that out of bounds twice, and then go over to the aviary section out of bounds, and then clip back inbounds over there. So yeah, it's a trip. You have to do that twice.
So he's still just kind of running around and grabbing these things we need for the solvent.
Yep.
I believe
that was the
that's
last
the last
ingredient,
thing, right?
right
Yes.
there. So now we have to go back into the garden house or pump house. I forgot exactly what it's called, but basically we need to go back there. There's a mixing station for all these ingredients.
I'd be really interested to know how much of the pathing varies for full game versus, especially in the garden area here, for full game versus no major glitches. Because I was just noticing there, like picking up the aviary medallion, which is in that safe. For anybody that doesn't know, that Yama just passed, that would probably completely mess with your inventory management.
Yeah. So I'm not 100% certain. When you say full game, do you mean any percent or?
Full game meaning like getting all the puppet quests and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can technically get into the aviary section without the medallions.
I'm so not surprised to hear that.
Well, kind of. It's not so much getting in the aviary section itself, it's going through the aviary section to get back inbound. But maybe it's not exactly the same. But
because you out of bounds on the playground and then come in through the back, right?
Right.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And just point out, he did do. It's not just putting in the materials for the solvent. He did do a puzzle there.
Yeah.
Normally you read a little thing, but we don't need to read because it's slow, so we don't do that. He just he knows what he needs to do.
It basically just tells you to push each button for a very specific amount of time.
There's an elevator.
But here's the elevator with the grimace shake in question.
You know, one release week. You wait one more week and nobody thinks about it, right?
So now we're in the penthouse section of the game, which is basically the final section. I should be completely safe, but I'm just going to take this heal just in case I make some major screw ups somehow. Shouldn't be a problem, but you know, just for safety. So these sections are like a series of different puzzles within rooms. We take an extra candy bar there. So if you look on this wall, there's a bunch of instructions, but none of that matters for us. We basically put stuff where we know it needs to go. We leave the room, come back in, everything's fixed. And
yeah, so there's a lot of really fast menuing here. You all might not be able to keep up, but yeah.
So basically you're supposed to be waiting and you're kind of like making ingredients. You turn milk into a banana, you cook soup, and you microwave a tomato to turn it into hot sauce. If you put it in the fridge and then usually wait 5 seconds, it turns into a key, which you need for that other room. It's basically a fake key, so you can take the real key, so you can open these chests. And we need to collect 4 puzzle pieces.
I'm really glad to see all of the recipe shortcuts being used there, like cutting the milk to get banana.
I didn't know if that was intended or not.
It actually was, and it was specifically so people could find shortcuts with it. Even the same thing with like having the cans cook. If you go out of the door and come back in instead of having to wait for it. Because those are all things that I was like, yeah, probably wouldn't be very interesting to have somebody just sit there for 20 seconds. You know, let's just make it do that instead, because it's still very reasonable for that to work that way, but then makes it better for people who are trying to do things quickly, like the speedrunning community and stuff, you know?
So he also did just do a puzzle there where you have to click paintings in a specific order, and the game also tells you at some point how to do that.
Yep.
That was a good shotgun shot.
That was a really good shotgun shot.
Yeah, so the letters bounced off the wall and got 2 more at the bottom.
I always try to aim a little bit to the right of the guy, because usually you'll always get the rest of them. Not every time, but most of the time. But here you'll see another little thing. This is mostly just for fun. Say bye to the inventory. But
it does help to know where your soda is also.
So we picked up a soda from that drink machine. You're gonna see what it does in a second. It's basically a candy bar, but like a mega candy bar.
Yeah. It is quite a bit quicker than a candy bar.
So now we're climbing the ladder from Metal Gear Solid 3. I think it's 3 anyway. I could be wrong, but. Woo! So this will take a hot minute. We're kind of just like, I mean, I wish I could look up actually, but we're climbing. This is supposed to be the story point where you're getting to where your actual goal was. You're climbing up this antenna and you're gonna shut down the signal and, you know, finish your job and go home. But you'll see very shortly that, of course, things don't go exactly as planned.
And just to point out, the soda that he got was the yellow soda, which does make you faster. If you do decide to get this game and play this game, which I'd definitely recommend you do, it's very charming. Test out the other sodas. The other sodas also do some things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know what every soda does. I do know the purple one gives you like insane reload speed and like shooting speed. I think the green one makes you have squeaky voice. I think.
It does.
So this is the unfriendly neighborhood also.
So here's the final boss. We kill him in a very specific way. I have extra shotgun ammo, so it's not too bad. You need 4 grenades and 9 shotgun shells exactly to kill this guy. And that's the final boss.
Neato.
So another thing to note with that is when you flip the switch after you kill the boss, the gate comes down faster. You can actually escape without fighting the boss, which some of the earlier runs had to do that. For the record, time will be once we exit this and select yes when the cutscene pops up. So on the selection of yes. So that's the time. And I will skip all the cutscene stuff because, well, actually, I guess we can let the song play at least. The song is pretty good.
The song is very good.
Our composer spent so much time on this. Yes, let's let the song play out for his sake.
The song is awesome.
Yeah, just since the credits are playing, I would like to give a shout out to the dev team who worked incredibly hard on this game, and I'm very grateful to everybody. And I could, go on about each person on the list here, but I will just say in general, I'm really proud of everything that they've done, and I'm really thankful that they decided to come on the project.
Yeah, for sure. This game is awesome. It does not disappoint, and I seriously suggest it to anyone. If you even remotely like this run, do yourself a favor and play it casually. It is a seriously awesome experience.
Yeah. You didn't even get to experience from this run the amount of amazing voice acting that goes into this game and the absolute charm that comes out of it. I definitely recommend it.
I think I ended early.
Well, thank you. That's much appreciated.
Yeah.
Here's the result screen. 3240 S plus. There are rankings. It's pretty much.
Wow! Look at that! Look at the S plus clipping on top of press any button. The devs sure are stupid, aren't they?
All right, though. So, Yama, if anyone wanted to find you on Twitch and watch more just of you doing anything, where can they find you?
Yeah, so you can find me at twitch.tv/Yamajugo, same name you see on screen. You can find me on YouTube at Yamajugo, same thing, and on Twitter if you just want updates on general stuff and what I'm doing.
All right, and then for all of you in general, I know we had one already, but any more shout-outs you'd like to give or anything you want to just mention?
The speedrun community for this game, obviously for, finding stuff and being active and, I guess, friendly. Funny enough. Shout outs to them and Darian as well for commentating for me, and John for joining as well as a special dev guest. So if you'd like to shout yourself out, Darian.
Yeah, sure. You can find me at Azarian XER1AN on Twitch. Just do some speed running from here and there.
And yeah, I do a lot of horror. I'm still relatively new to speedrunning, and funny enough, I'm kind of making a trend where my speedrun games seem to be silly horror. But yeah,
That's a nice niche to fit into. Yeah.
but I think that's all I have to say so far.
Yeah, I just urge if anybody is interested in the game, go check it out on Steam. You can find me on Twitter. If you can spell my last name, then congratulations. It's Ducky_Szymanski. And that's all I've got to shout out on my end.
All right. Thank you all for the run here. It was fun to watch, and it was fun just to showcase this to the general GDQ Hotfix audience.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Ed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you very much. Love being here.
Thank you.
All right. And once again, if you have not checked them out, you can find Yamajugo. The link is in Twitch chat, as well. I've mentioned a few times. So go ahead and do that if you want to watch more silly horror games.